Hello, everyone, and welcome to the It's Hockey Night podcast. My name is Brenton, and I am joined by the Liam O'Brien to my Sidney Crosby. How are you, Mike?
You know what? At this point, I'm just going to take that as a compliment. And look, I think as most Penguin fans, pretty stressed and depressed. But
Mm,
not living my best life, as you could say. But boy, am I thankful not to be a Toronto Maple Leafs fan.
yeah, we aren't the only fan base, but we are the most entitled. So we're not used to things not going our way.
I'm
This is
feeling way less arrogant than usual, and I don't like it.
Yeah, like I mean, a first overall, a franchise player that could have gone in a weird lottery didn't get given to us.
I
I
don't
don't know
understand.
what. Yeah, this is what happens.
My parents told me that we always get gifted the. Actually, it was hockey Twitter that told me that we always get gifted
We
the
all, yeah.
lottery. So I'm so confused and afraid.
I'm very disappointed in the effort. I think it needs to be said, the effort and the determination of that Pittsburgh Penguins ping pong ball was terrible on that day. It was not ready. If you watch the slow mo, it is very almost the Maple Leafs, and it bounces like 4 times at the top, and then just randomly doesn't go up. And then this Rangers ball comes out of the heavens, and is just like, no, it's me. And
The,
yeah, like the Penguins ball is just like off to the side, like not even moving. It's just dead.
yeah, it's just like in the bottom, still trying to like get up center ice.
It was
Boy, they looked old and slow, didn't they?
Yeah. So yeah, for everyone, we're gonna review most of the series and then preview the series coming up. But yeah, let's start with the Penguins. Yeah, boy, was that old and slow, and just it wasn't that in my mind as well. It was a team that just didn't give a shit. I said that
Yeah,
in the video at the end. I was like, just what, like that game four? How do you like? If you were no game four. Sorry, yeah, I was like, but they won one, and then realized it was a best of five. That game four. I would have hated to be a hockey analyst for that. Like if you had analyzed that game, because the analytics were just like, oh, the Penguins did not give a flying f about that
yeah,
game.
yeah. That's pretty much what it was. Like they were dumping pucks in and just they're just doing the dump and change in a game, in an elimination game.
Yeah, they were
Where
playing
you're
it.
like it's tie game in the third period where like you are by far the superior offensive team and you're just dumping and changing.
Well,
Man,
were
I
they?
that's a lot of this, stuff about Mike Sullivan has been overblown in the last few days, but man, like it's hard to argue that he got outcoached severely in that series.
Hard to argue that he didn't, or that he
It's hard
did.
to argue with the fact that he did. I mean, like it's
Yeah.
I think it's pretty blatant. I mean, besides the glaring uh, red marks on his report card of continuing to play Jack Johnson and Justin Schultz together and then play them like 18 minutes a night. I think their average was actually 16, but they played 18 in the last game, more than Marino and Pedersen. So,
Yeah.
it's a whole plethora of Penguins coaches, general managers, organizationally just doubling down on their mistakes. Like that,
Yeah.
we are truly in the era of like we always talk about the Penguins like it's either glory or just the worst kind of self defeat, and we are definitely the needle is way towards the latter.
Yeah, you know how the Red Wings, like towards the end of their tenure of making playoffs, they still were squeaking in. We didn't get that. We just had a hard cutoff.
Yeah,
Like they were just going,
yeah.
no, you're not good anymore. See you later. Yeah, like that team. The only annoying thing is, and we'll break down the Rutherford conference in a moment, was that Marino got a lot of flack for trying to stop Shea Weber along the boards. That led to a goal. And they're like, oh, a young player will get better and he'll figure that out. And Jack Johnson's the other defender on the ice that just leaves his guy completely open and no one says anything.
Either that or it gets pancaked by Jonathan Drouin, which happened twice in the series, where Drouin
Yes.
just bowled our quote unquote most physical jam
Pylon.
type defenseman over. All the radio guys love him because he's big and shit, but that's neither here nor there. He got beat up by little Jonathan Drouin, so well, there goes that myth. What else you got? What else does Jack Johnson do? Because it ain't that.
He takes time on ice. He's Sidney Crosby's friend.
He beat up people in a baseball game for Sidney Crosby once.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boy, you hate to think that this is going to be like one of those lasting legacies, but it's going to be hard for people to talk about the end of Sidney Crosby's career without mentioning Jack Johnson, I think, at some point. And that's fucking sad.
Yeah. I mean, it's his own. I don't get why he thought, why he would pressure, like, friendship and everything, but he clearly pressured this organization into signing this deal. And also, it's on the organization for giving in.
They were competing against no one.
Yeah.
And they gave
they could have offered him $3.
They gave a 30-year-old player 5 years.
5 years.
It was never quick to begin with.
No.
Man.
No, well, there was all that. I mean, whether you're analytics or not, like there's 3 players on that list, and he was one of them that was just like, do not touch this person. So the eye test people are like, no, there's a player there. It's fine.
He was the pedigree, Breton the pedigree.
Guess what else isn't the problem? Phil Kessel.
Yeah, boy, doesn't that power play just miss Phil so badly? More than the fans miss Phil, that power play really misses Phil Kessel.
But was it the power play missing Phil, or was it just a sum up of the series of them just not caring? Because that power play, when they scored in Game 3, those 2 goals, all of them were from turnovers, forecheck turnovers.
They adjusted and they had fixed. I wouldn't say fixed the problem, but they addressed an issue that I think Montreal counterattacked too. So no, their power play was trash all year. It's been trash since Phil's been gone. That power play ran through Phil Kessel, and I saw people today about Rutherford's press conference. Well, Letang and Recchi are responsible for the power play. No, Letang it doesn't run through Letang.
No.
It if anything, it runs through Justin Schultz or Evgeny Malkin. And when Letang's out there, it runs through Malkin on the half wall, and you shouldn't have one of your best shooters out there running the power play. It's just I don't get. It's truly baffling that a collection of talent like this has just never been able to figure out their power play in between Sergei Gonchar and Phil Kessel. Around those 2 players, they've just their power play has been average to sub-average, and it's truly one of the most confounding things about this team.
Well, it just seems like when those 2 aren't on, I just don't think you want to quarterbacking through Malkin. That seems to be a real.
Well, it should be an easy fix, but they keep going back to it. So the general manager said today that that's one of his missions in the offseason is to fix the power play. So I guess welcome Thomas Vanek. I don't fucking know what to do.
Thomas Vanek. Oh, the population in Pominville's going up 1. What? This team has way too many cap issues to be able to really do anything noticeable, in my opinion. What did you think of the Rutherford conference? Was very much an old man just contradicting himself. He said there'd be pretty much wide sweeping changes. Then the core is safe. Schultz probably won't get re-signed. Jack Johnson's great.
Right. Well, it's. A lot of the local media loved it, of course, and even the national guys are like, oh, you got to listen to Rutherford. I wish more GMs would talk like Rutherford. But it's okay, well, you can just listen to the last 3 years off-season press conferences, because they're all the same. They're all issues that we need to fix. They're all oh, I'm really disappointed in the way that we played, and we obviously need changes, and we're going to retool on the fly. And there was a list of it somewhere. The list of players in the last 3 years that Rutherford has brought in to try and make these quote changes that he talks about every year, with no purpose and no structure and seemingly no plan to them.
Yeah,
it's real bad. The asset management is just, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
It's very, and this is where like the video games you never get right. It's very NHL 20. It's like, oh, this guy has an 84 overall. That will be better than the 83 overall that is currently in that position. And then, and then things just happen, right? It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Or listen to this. Okay.
Oh, here
Ryan
we go.
Wilson at Gunnerstall on Twitter. Every offseason, there's a declaration of a plan. Since 2017, these players are acquired and discarded within a year or so. Matt Hunwick, Ryan Reeves, Antti Niemi, Riley Sheahan, Jamie Alexiak, Derek Brassard, Tanner Pearson, Eric Goodbranson, Dominic Cahoon, and Alex Galchenyuk. And then, whoever gets jettisoned this summer for guys that he'll, have to fix that mistake in a year or two. Like it.
Oh, yeah.
Does no one look at this and go like, maybe it's time for this guy to retire? He doesn't do free agency so well anymore. I'm personally, as a fan, I'm terrified of what kind of changes he's going to make this summer. As a fan of chaos, boy, you couldn't ask for anything more entertaining than Jim Rutherford attacking a team with duct tape and silly string.
I'm super worried about one thing. It looks like they're going to keep that first overall, not the first overall pick. I think it's 15th, right?
Yeah,
15th?
I mean, I think they would. I think a lot of other fans and let us know if we're being too biased here, because a lot of other fans are laughing and saying that this is going to be the Ottawa Senators part deux, where they take this
No.
pick and then end up with like a lottery pick next year.
Next.
They just hand to Minnesota. So, but no, I mean, from my perspective, I like on paper that they should not be a lottery team next year, even if they lose in the
No.
first round. Again, their pick will still, it's not going to get any better than 15th. I don't think. I hope.
No, I mean I still think like in the regular season, this team will be fine at least at the start. I mean the MO is that they tail away at the end of the year.
Right.
That's been the MO for the last 3 years now.
Yeah, I mean their score effects were ridiculous due to injuries and everything else, but they were one of the best shooting teams in the league all year. So like I have faith in the talent. It's just
Yeah.
The regular season and then the management of said talent is the thing that I question. I don't know why the disinterest play. I suspect
That makes zero sense. Like I think that's I said it in the video. Like when they lost to the Capitals, well, I mean, that'd be 2 playoffs ago before this one. I wasn't I was disappointed as a fan in like the sense that, oh, my team didn't win, but like I was still happy to say I was a Penguins fan. You know what I mean? Like they gave effort. They were just They were outplayed by a very good unit that went on to win the Stanley Cup. Eventually, it was going to happen in that matchup, but they played well-ish. They just were outplayed, and then they tried. Like, were you almost a little bit embarrassed to be a Penguins fan, like, during this Montreal series? They just...
I didn't feel it, but I think a lot of people agree that this might be the worst loss in their history because, I mean, you made the playoffs technically, and you got into this weird, COVID situation where it's a bubble team and you get to play the 24th best team.
Mm-hmm.
A team that's bad, like a real bad team, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
With a goaltender that's capable of getting hot, but I don't know. And Carey Price was really good in the first game, but I'm not just going to completely sign this whole series over to him. I really think that this was truly one of the more embarrassing, if not the most embarrassing loss in Penguins history.
So.
Yeah. I mean, like the whole like overtime shit with Dave Volek. 93 was more painful than embarrassing. That was just like, how did this fucking happen?
Yeah. Petri scoring 2 game-winning goals doesn't help.
Yeah. And I mean, fuck, dude, I'd trade a lot to get Jeff Petri on this defense, but yeah, it's not ideal. It's not a good time, Bob.
I can see the wine. Is the wine tap stopped?
Nope.
No, just wake up. I got the shakes, man.
Day one was tequila. I went straight for the tequila then, so I'm now like I'm coming. You know what I mean? I'm winding down.
Yeah, I started making the review game of the game that night, and I was like, nah, That's tomorrow morning.
Just
I
can't.
couldn't use that footage. It pretty much was just me swearing for like 4
Roll
minutes.
that beautiful bean footage.
Yeah, and I was like, no, this is bad. I'll redo this. So yeah. The reason why I mentioned the first round pick is so they keep this first round pick. Do they trade the this first round pick
I mean,
to fix the issues?
yeah, and there's some really good cases for it.
Yeah.
One of Rutherford's comments was saying that he wants to get younger and still keep the window open, like be able to compete. Um, and I mean, whoever you draft at 15, you're looking at least 2 years for them to be ready.
Yeah.
Maybe a year if you get lucky. But it's not going to
with
help you right now. If you want a player to help you right now, 15th overall pick could mean a lot to a rebuilding team that has some young pieces that wants to get even younger, that wants to rebuild their farm system. I don't know who that is. Like, I
they're
can't
not
think of
giving
five.
up, but those players aren't giving up a 23-year-old that's ready, a 25-year-old that's ready. You know what I mean?
Well, Florida Panthers did. That's
Yeah,
what I
well,
mean. Like, you can't say no to that. Like,
Just saying.
those mid first round picks have a lot more value than they used to.
And
And
also,
it would be
especially
like,
in this draft.
it might be. Well, I mean, I don't know how true or not true that is. Like, every analyst says different things. I think the consensus is that this is not a bad draft or a really like elite 2015 draft. It's kind of like it's a draft.
It's a good draft.
It's got it's like 2018. It's got your tiers are kind of like one and two. 1, 2 through 3, and then 4 through 8 is
It
just kind of
has
step down from there.
it has Stutzel, who has 100% hit Ty Smith levels of Brenton Love.
I really haven't looked. I have not looked into the prospect stuff too much, just because of the weirdness of this year. Usually that's like my bag, but now that I guess they're going to keep their first round pick, I probably will, and I will fall in love with a prospect that means absolutely nothing. They won't.
No,
you They definitely even if they take this pick, they're going to reach for a kid that no one's ever heard of. We're all going to be really mad about it, but he'll actually probably be good. And none of it's going to matter in the end.
There's a few decent-ish picks around that
Darkies.
mark. I've been because obviously like there'll be some videos down the road. Probably like I'll central scout. I'll do a video on all the top 30 or the top 35 or something. So I'm slowly like, if I'm in a shitty meeting where I don't have to do anything, I'm just researching draft picks. So yeah, those HR meetings, man, they just go forever. You're just like, there's no need for me to be here, so I'll just elite prospects. So where do you think this team, like, how do you think this team gets younger? Who's the one that's out?
Well, I mean, they're obviously going to let Marlowe and Schultz go. Probably going to let Sherry go, as much as Sullivan likes him and is technically related to him. I don't see them bringing him back. Like, I would bring Sherry back on like a $1 million deal. I'm not giving him any more than that, though.
Yeah.
I think he's played himself out of that $3 million contract that the Penguins gave him, and no one's going to give him more than that, I don't think.
Not with the money as tight as it is. I think that second level of UFA this year is going to be really underpaid.
Yeah, I think they're all going to be way underpaid for what they all wanted. Poor Taylor Hall. But yeah, I mean, that would be my target, is like improve that top line right wing spot. Find somebody that can like help that line go. I know that Mike Sullivan loves his pairs, and like Sid is never going to be removed from Gensel and vice versa. Even though I think they should be. Find someone else that can play up there. I think Rust is kind of solidified as Gino's winger, and then obviously you have Zucker in the left wing spot. And then you got to find your third line center. Is it going to be you're going to give Jared McCann the chance to play it all year, or is that going to be the competition spot? I think it probably should be a competition of the Wilkes-Barre guys.
Yeah.
If that's what he said, and I think to Rutherford's point about that, and this is like the closest he came to admitting a mistake, was that he talked about all the energy that the Wilkes guys gave early in the season, and then That faded out obviously because he went out and brought in Evan Rodriguez and Marlowe and
Yeah.
Sherry and push those guys out. So just let them compete again next year.
Yeah.
See what
No,
happens, and then make a trade. Don't make it in the offseason. Please don't sign anyone. If you
well,
can
if it is
trade,
just minor.
trade a defenseman, and I'm sure we'll get to the most important position next. But if you can
Yes,
find a way
that's
to jettison Jack Johnson, they're not going to buy him out. Forget that. That's a fantasy. They're not going to have $2 million of dead cap space with
no.
a flat cap. They're just not going to do it. They'll play him into the ground, but they're not going to buy Jack Johnson out.
We did him a favor by giving him that contract, right? Like, can't we get a wink, wink, nudge, nudge? I'm allergic to my jerseys.
God, you would hope so, but no. I don't know. I think that he is drinking his own Kool-Aid if he's not from the beat guys, and the organization that still plays him every night.
Yeah. So you mentioned it, the most important position. He mentioned it on the press conference. The
Yeah,
seventh defender. Do you think that's Chad Ruedel? No.
it's got to be Yusar Ricola. It's just got to be. This is his year, finally.
The tending of the goal. He pretty much said on the conference, we can't keep both.
Yeah, which I read as we can't keep Murray. If
Really?
you're reading that, and who's the more expensive guy? Murray's already making $3 million. Jari's still on his ELC. He's an RFA. They're both RFAs, but Murray's due to get way more money either way.
Yeah.
Read into it how you will. I mean, also it doesn't take much to figure out who started the elimination game. Like, it wasn't Matt Murray, and he made sure to obviously compliment him just as he did Jack Johnson while kicking Schultz as he left the door.
Oh yeah, boy, Schultz is just. Yeah, if he
there's
gets signed by another team, that comment alone just cost him $800,000.
No, I want an inverse press conference where some team brings Justin Schultz in. It's like, I know why Jim Rutherford said that about Justin Schultz, and it wasn't his play. Should be Columbus. Just get him back for that bullshit.
Yeah. So I haven't thought Matt Murray's been good for a while. I think the defense actually has to play differently with him in front with the rebounds that he's given up. So
he was giving up some juicy ones, boy. Let me tell you, I've been a long defender of Matt Murray, and I think he was elite from January on. But I think he was the better goaltender too at one point when Jari kind of fell back to earth. But I think the sample size is big enough now that his inconsistency is. I don't know. I don't know that you want to gamble on that with a big money, big term contract. It's too big, too important of a position. At the same time, I don't know that you want to gamble likewise on Tristan Jarry. Like, I think they're not in a great position here. It would be ideal to keep both of them again for next year. That's just not. I mean, obviously, for him saying that, like, they're not going to keep both.
No, but there are a few goalies in free agency that you can pick up for a year I think at a cheapish mark that can help out the team. Like,
well, I mean,
Rice.
I would assume if they're going to trade Murray to a team, they would probably want a backup in return, or maybe they trust case dismissed. I think they do to some degree. Maybe that's, and as much as you hate to say it, that's probably the better option. You just go with his $750K. And, if he sucks halfway through the year, which I assume he probably will because he had an awful season in Wilkes-Barre, I don't know how the NHL is going to suddenly make him a better goaltender. Then you hit the market. I think there's, that it'll be pretty saturated next year.
I just wonder if you go to Thomas Greiss and say, one something, come win a cup.
Oh, fuck him. I don't want him back.
As a backup, but?
No.
Jimmy
Give me Robin Leonard. Give me, fine.
Oh, you're not getting Robin Leonard. Like, that dude's getting some money.
Well, that's what we thought last year too, when nobody gave it to him.
Cam Talbot? Oh no, I think he'll. I think he'll run it. Javi Bullen?
What?
No, Hadobin. Not Javi Bullen. Hadobin.
Javi Bullen's like 45 years old. He's been retired for like 5 years.
Yeah.
That's it. Here it is, guys. Look, we're bringing back the Bulin Wall. Our goal is to be the oldest team in the league, but just because of our goaltender being literal like retirement age, he's collecting art magazines.
Oh, I got
Getting
it.
the early bird special. Jim Rutherford just wants a guy to hang out with. That's going to be his old guy next year. Get that one every season.
What's that Ryan Miller character up to now, dude? I've got it. I got the backup goalie. Give him
Freddie
1.2
Anderson.
million. Mike Smith, come on down.
No, well, this would be his good year, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Have you got any final thoughts on this stupid franchise?
I mean, I have plenty, but like we'll save them for the. It's going to be a long off-season, Penguins fans.
It really is. I do have a hard out in about an hour, so we're gonna have to.
All right. Well,
murder through.
look, here's the thing. Like, I don't think any of the other play-in series were like that shocking or interesting.
Really?
Not really. I don't know. Like, look,
You want to eliminate?
You want to just go through our biggest takeaways from each? Because we were very wrong in our predictions. Can I just tell you?
I think you wrote mine down wrong because I'm looking at from memory. I got 100 out of 100.
Oh wow, that's crazy how that's weird. That's real weird.
So what were we right? Let's go with the right ones.
All right, so I had Winnipeg in 5. You had Winnipeg in 3.
Dude, I doubled down. I made a video on that said, "Why will the Jets sweep the Flames?" And it was the most like full of myself, like, "Oh, I know something you don't. That I'm an idiot."
Well, they know now, Brenton. They know now.
Yeah.
I had Edmonton in 3.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I mean, you had them in 4, so you know.
You got the games. Right.
Close. You got the games right. That's half the battle. Okay, here's a little better. I had Vancouver in 5.
Oh.
So it's close. You actually had them in 4, so you got.
4 points.
Spot on. You got 1 point.
Yeah, I think I even
got a half a point.
Tanev overtime winner. I'm pretty sure.
I had Arizona in 4. That was. I mean, a little. That was right? That's what Arizona won in, right?
Yeah, but I'm worried about what I had.
You had Arizona in 5.
Oh, so I picked Arizona. Okay, I thought I picked.
So we're tied. We each have a point and a half.
Okay.
Because I'm scoring this arbitrarily, and
no, I like it.
Nothing matters. Carolina, I had Carolina in 5.
Yeah.
Okay. You, my friends.
Yeah.
New York Rangers in 5. Really?
Yeah, apparently I fell in love with their offense. Didn't realize that defense was important. And I also didn't think they were going to start Lundqvist game 1, so...
or in game 2, in game 3.
I love how, like, I picked the Rangers to beat the team that I now think's probably going to win the Cup. I mean, make it to the Cup final, if not for the Flyers.
Well, that's the beauty of predictions. They can change from round to round, yes. I guess. I don't know. I had the Florida Panthers in 5. Idiots.
Yeah.
You had the Islanders in 3. You were a little overzealous, but, you know.
Oh, I'm pretty close. I did say that the Panthers team would not show up, and they didn't show up.
They kind of didn't show up. I didn't watch much of that series, to be honest, because...
Do you know that the Golden Knights have more playoff wins than the Panthers?
Oh, buddy, that's unfortunate. That's an unfortunate sad. Boy, like, I really, you know, like, last night, I was like, if the Penguins don't get this stupid lottery ball... I really wanted to go to Florida because, man, do they need... I mean, they're kind of stacked on left wing. That would kind of be the unfortunate part, but they need something.
That Bobrovsky contract is going to be a hole in the earth. You do not want this kid going to that hole.
That's true. They're headed for another long, dark road.
Oh, yeah. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Somewhere in Quebec City, there's a crowd of people just went, okay, oh, we.
That's pretty good. I'll give you
I had the BJs in 5.
Yep.
So
Bang on.
Bang on. Oh, so did you. Yeah, we both,
Yeah.
boom, full marks. And then we were both real dumb, big, stupid fanboy idiots and picked Pittsburgh in 4 and 3, respectively. And wow, are we dumb. So
Yep.
yeah, like not looking good. We would have failed if this was a math test. This would have been like an absolute. We would have been expelled from school, and
Do you reckon we did that badly that they would let us retest?
no, they would absolutely send us to like some sort of school that like for like real dumb
Yeah.
kids,
For
like
slow learners.
criminals. We'd have gone to juvie.
Yeah. You're off to happiness camp, Brenton.
So what were your main takeaways from the play-in round? Because like honestly, fuck that whole thing.
Hurricanes are a really, really good team. They're able to shut down
But
an amazing offense in the Rangers.
God, they look good.
Yeah, and you kind of forget they made the additions last year that they've made. Everyone's got a year up. Like I don't think they're getting swept by Boston again.
No. I think they took some hard-won lessons last year that they're going to carry into this year. They just like they're ready. Like they're one of the youngest teams, which helps the legs as we've seen. And man, you're right. They just look so fucking good. If I if they weren't so popular, I would like them more. But the fact that they're like they've become like America's sweetheart team. I just like hockey Twitter at least. Like I can't do
Yeah,
it. I just
no.
can't jump fully on the bandwagon. But in my heart, I'm there.
What's your thought? We'll go one for one.
Uh, Man, yeah, like Vancouver, Minnesota, snooze fest. The skeleton of the Chicago Blackhawks figuring out that the Oilers were kind of shitty aside from McDavid and Draisaitl, who stayed on the same line the entire series, was just not
Yeah,
surprising in the least. Again, starting Mike Smith.
they didn't get a single goal without the three people being involved.
Just
Dude,
yeah, like
yeah.
and the story continues. Yeah. Eric was impressed with Arizona. Like like their wins were kind of hard to come by.
Trap
Because
comes to
right, but they played it well, and
yeah.
they have a line. Some of the like Osterley, he was like, like that's probably like their saving grace for this next series is that like Osterley was their best player. So like, okay, now it's time for Phil and Taylor Hall to wake up, right? You
Yes.
you would hope if you're a Coyotes fan, but yeah, I mean, and the Blue Jackets do it again. And like
Well,
briefly, can we just talk about Toronto?
yeah. I was gonna
Because
say, what's the excuse now? Where's your excuse? What is it?
just like of the 24 hours just from hell.
Oh,
You
I live
48.
watched that game before, and when they made that comeback, I was like gobsmacked. Like you can go watch the footage on the YouTube
Yeah, I
channel.
was like,
It's
it's
obvious.
over. This is it. This is the
Yeah.
moment. This is where they start the Stanley Cup run.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
No.
I have not been a Toronto Maple Leafs fan for long enough, I guess, because that's just not how it works.
No.
If you're a Maple
And then
Leafs
they
fan.
just well, the Leafs, if they win a game or if they show up or do something miraculous, the next game you know is going to be a wet fart. Like that's
And
the one thing with
boy,
them.
was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could have played that game and the Penguins Canadians game 4 next to each other, and it would have just been like the Spider-Man meme
Well,
pointing thing.
even
Like
that
it was the same thing.
the game four again, I live watched it on the YouTube channel, so and thanks to the people that were coming in and keep me company during it. But like the only person I noticed was Tavares. Everyone else I didn't notice.
Yeah, yeah,
Like at one
this is
point
real bad.
I saw Marner in the second period, and I was like, oh yeah, you're here.
Making $11 million.
I mean, Nylander wasn't bad. He was around as well. That
Yeah,
was a player that you can't judge. But what's the excuse for this team now? Like, honestly, what is the excuse? That there's been so many that like Dubas hasn't had his guy as a coach. That the coach isn't playing the players properly. Well, you can't say that anymore.
no, no. Well, I mean, here's the thing: is that like Freddie wasn't even. You can't even blame it on goaltending because I think Freddie was pretty good in the series. He wasn't great. Like he wasn't better than Corpusalo, which is not something you ever want to say about your goaltender. But
No.
like yeah, like it wasn't his fault. And like
Jake,
normally that would be the fallback.
yeah,
You
Jake.
can't blame it on this one on Jake Gardner.
Nope.
He's still playing. He scored a goal in the playoffs in the play-in
Yeah, like
round.
like what do you do now? Like what? Like does it really have to start to be looked at that Dubas may be on the out if this happens again?
I think it's too soon for that. Even though MLSE tends to be a little trigger happy,
Yeah.
they've left their GMs in place for probably way longer than their expiration date for a lot of these guys. So I don't see them
Yeah.
doing anything there. I think this whole squad has a plan. Uh, their 5 year plan is almost up, and
Yep.
boy, they're falling down the hill. They're not getting up
Well,
any higher. And yeah, no, I think it was just bad. It was just a bad performance. And like, what do you do? I think if you're any other team, you do a little like rebuild. You shake it up a little bit.
but
Like
they're so
there's
against the
some
cap
glaring. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many glaring weaknesses on D.
on
And
D.
like,
Yeah.
sure, you get Cody Cece off the books, and like they're going to be marketably better just because of that next year. He's
Yeah.
not going to be playing top six, but like, who do you replace him? You know, like how do you re-sign guys? Like, what do you do with like the only tradable pieces that they really have are guys that you can't trade. I mean, they could trade William Nylander. He's a very tradable asset. Like you could probably
Yeah.
get
That would be.
something really nice back for Willie Nylander.
You'll
But then
regret
you
it.
don't have Willie Nylander anymore, and
Yeah.
then we're talking about and then like the Kapanens and the Janssens and
I wonder
the
if one of those go.
the Robertsons who were like again like extremely tradable contracts, but then what are you left with? What are you getting back? You're probably not getting a Kapanen back. You're getting maybe a defenseman, but there goes your scoring depth, and you're back to being like a
Well,
one and a half line team.
I think Kapanen or Johnson's out for Robertson coming in.
Yeah, and like they have some minor league guys that can maybe fill those roles a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know that you're also probably not going to get the defenseman that you need for Kasperi
Nope.
Kapanen.
But you
You
definitely
know?
need someone because right now it's Riley, Muzzin, Sandine, who's not ready, Demont, who
Well, I mean,
Dermott,
from
sorry,
all
who
accounts,
is
I guess they're probably going to plug Sandine in there regardless.
yeah.
And he appears to be like somewhat ready. I don't know if he was that ready. I don't know why he didn't play this series, but
And then Marincin and Hull. Hull is not an NHL
no,
defender.
they have a
He was
bunch of
so
like
bad.
borderline AHL guys
Yeah.
that are perfect seventh defensemen. Like if you have an injury or whatever, they can come up for
Yeah.
a spell.
Not that you
Like
give
they're very Chad Ruedel-esque, you know. You get him in
David
there for he can come in off the bench after not playing 70 games and be perfectly serviceable for 7 to 10 games, and then you go right back to the bench, right back to the press box, eating popcorn where you belong. They have too many of those guys at the bottom of their rotation.
But for the last 10 years, like all we've heard is excuses.
I
And
mean,
yeah,
I don't think that's fair though. Like you can't chalk this group up with the Lamarillo group, even with or the guys
I'm saying
before
the
that with
franchise as a
Patrick
whole.
Kessel. Yeah, but I mean, this is a whole new management thing. This is a whole new like president. Like they still have to deal with Lou Lamarillo contracts, on the book still. Like the Freddie
Yep.
contract, the Hyman contract. Those are Lamarillo guys. So
Yeah.
yeah,
David
I mean they're
Clarkson
just
comes off
they're
the
they're
books.
in an absolute mess. But
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have a first round pick this year because they had to get rid of Patrick Marleau.
Yep.
So yeah, they didn't win the lottery, so they would have been picking 13th, which is like a really nice. You'd love to be in that spot if you're
Yep.
Toronto. Keep the young talent coming, but you're just gifting that to Carolina. Thanks a lot, dickheads. Let's just give Carolina another good young player. Fucking assholes.
And there's some good young D around that. Just what Carolina needs, a
Yeah, that's
another
right.
good young defender. That'll be good. Why don't we just give another good player off to the Blackhawks? They haven't had a good
Yeah,
player handed to them in a
please.
while.
Yeah, they need more help.
Yeah. Can we give them an outdoor game? By the way, you said the Canucks series was a bit boring. I actually thought that was a good series. I had fun watching that.
Well,
But yeah.
that would probably be because I didn't watch most of it.
So that's the Islanders and Panthers for me. I didn't
Yeah,
watch a
pretty
single game.
much.
I just kind of knew what was going to happen, and I was like, "There's no point watching this. I can't watch my hoobie doobie do nothing." That Vinny Trocheck contract, that is going to be something that trade we're going to talk for a while. They're going to regret that.
Oh, just again, not like it's Carolina the new Chicago Blackhawks? My column, like,
Yeah,
quit helping this team be like subtly even more good. It's really annoying. I fucking hate it. Please
yeah.
stop.
Should we start? Should we preview the next series, even though two of them have started?
Yeah, theoretically. I mean, as we record the podcast right now, Columbus and Tampa Bay are in, I think, double overtime.
Yeah. The first overtime just ended, so yeah, they're
Yeah,
in double OT.
tied at 2.
53 shots.
Yeah, for the Tampa. How many does Columbus have now? 20?
34.
Okay, that's
But
a
you
little bit.
wonder if it's the same thing that was happening with the Leafs, if they're taking the center ice away and they're just putting shots from,
They are, yeah. There were a lot of low percentage shots, but it was really funny to look at the shot clock at the end of regulation. It was 40 for the Lightning and 19 for the Blue Jackets.
By the way, can we I'm curious what you think about this with the way that they play the games on TV. You know how next to them they have the seed that they are the number. So in the scoreboard they have like the score like CHI for Chicago, and then
Right.
next to it's like this small number. Why the F is that not the shot clock?
Yeah, well, I don't know, because it's more important that we know what seed they were in the regular season from fucking 8 months ago, Breton. That's why. That's what the NHL thinks that we really want to know about is like what they did in a fucking like season that was almost a year ago. That's real important. Yeah, I've been on that train forever. My Twitter bio says shot clock enthusiast for a reason. But no, that's cool. We don't need to know like how the game is like who's actually winning the game or who's playing better or anything like that.
I love having to load up the app to find out how many shots a team's putting on.
Oh yeah, now that they've updated the app, you can't even like click on a box score anymore. Like it opens up a whole weird fucking web of things that I don't care about before I can just see who scored the goals. That's really awesome for fantasy purposes, especially.
Yeah.
Fun times, Breton. Fun times. All right, so this series, since we're already on it,
I have done my bracket, so I can send you the bracket if you want confirmation that I made this yesterday.
Put it up on social media. Put your monies where your mouths are. But I'm still gonna write it down for posterity's sake because I don't trust you.
Right. Fair enough. Trust me either.
What are you picking?
So I'm just I'm trying to find. I'm just loading up my emails.
All right, well, you fucking load up your emails again. My God, leave it open in case we have mailbag questions. But yeah, Columbus Blue Jackets in 6.
I also picked the Blue Jackets.
Oh boy, are we doing this again?
Yes.
Okay.
I just typed in Blue Jackets instead of bracket challenge. I was like, why are the Blue Jackets loading up in Google?
Jacket challenge, Blue Jacket challenge.
Yeah, I also have. I think they match up very well against these sort of teams.
Yeah, the high scoring teams. They just like know how to shut them down. And I was watching the game earlier, and they just look so confident. Where Tampa Bay, like they don't look like they came out in the third period and they scored that goal immediately, and they looked good doing it, but like, boy, was that a fluky ass goal. Like it bounced around, and then Korpisalo actually kicked it in his own net. How many more times is that going to happen in this series? Like, not many. Like, and then you can also say that, like, okay, but he's probably also not going to stop 53 shots or whatever, 51 shots again.
God, no.
Either. But like, I'm still banking on Columbus just like they're just like a machine, and they just shut Tampa Bay down so effectively. Like, Tampa has more guys like Barclay Goodrow and what's his name? Everyone's favorite fourth line center, Brian Boyle, and shit like that. Like, and that helps, but I still think that's they might they'll probably win this overtime on another weird goal, or maybe it'll be a pretty one because it is Tampa. But without Steven Stamkos too, like they're just down weapons, like they're not as much of a threat.
Some of their players have regressed a bit.
Right, Victor Hedman's playing like nobody thought he was gonna be playing, but I don't know at what percentage Victor Hedman's in there.
And that was my point, is Seth Jones at 100% better than Hedman at 80 or 90, and that could be a big difference.
Yeah, and Werenski. I mean, those two are just...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can just throw them out against the Kucherov line, and then just, they'll just eat them alive and play 25 minutes a night like it's nothing.
Yeah.
So how many games?
7.
Okay, it's going all the way to 7, huh?
Yeah.
I went 6 just because, I don't know. I actually thought about going 5, but I think 6 is the safe bet. I think Tampa has a little more in the pipeline this year, but just not enough.
Yeah.
I think they're going to get worn down by the end of this thing, too. I think maybe they'll win the 2 early, and then Columbus might just steamroll them from there.
I think... Oh, maybe I'd pick 6. I can't see the amount of games I picked. I'll say 7 for this. But yeah.
So congratulations, Tampa Bay fans. Your team is...
I was going to say what needed to happen was us to just talk about how Columbus is going to win this, and then it's like, oh, Tampa Bay just scored in overtime. Like, that's all that needed, like, directly just making it, it out of date mid-podcast. All right, what's the next game?
Our next game is the Carolina Hurricanes against the not Carolina Boston Bruins.
It's Blue Jackets in 6. Blue Jackets in 6. Can you amend that? And then I've got Carolina in 7.
Yep, me too. God damn it.
Hive mind.
You know what? I'm changing mine to 6. That's right. Wow. Going big, going bold. I'm dropping them down a game because I think Boston, no one was really trying in the round robin.
No.
That's another old team that, I just don't know that they have the wheels or the defense to stop Carolina just skating all over them.
I can't put a caveat on this, but if they play like they did in that round robin, which I don't think they will, this will be a sweep to Carolina. This will be a trucking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. If they play like they did against Philly, then yeah, this is going to be over in 3.5. It's done. Yeah.
It'll be quick.
Yeah. Our next game, Washington Capitals against who the fuck cares? Who are they playing? Oh, the Montreal Canadiens. No, they're not.
Islanders.
The Islanders. Yeah. Another
fish fingers.
You know what? This is the Barry Trotz series, right? So this does have a little more intrigue to it than your typical Islander series. And the Capitals are a technically high scoring team. They also didn't look great in the round robin, but
you just wonder if they cared. That's the whole thing.
You don't. I don't think they did at all.
Game 2.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care. It doesn't matter who we're playing. Just this is practice. So,
yep.
I'm going Washington in 6.
I got Washington 5.
Okay. Yeah, I don't. As much as the Barry Trotz factor, they don't have the goaltending anymore. I think the bloom is a little bit off that rose. They look good against Florida, but what does that mean exactly?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I think the West we might differ. I think we've both got the same in this next series that you're about to mention.
Well, I know because I fucking hate picking sweeps. I really thought about it, but I went Philly in 5 against.
Yeah, I got Philly in 5. I think Price will win a game.
It'll be game 1. They'll be riding high from beating the Penguins, and then I think Philly is just gonna walk all over them for the next few games.
They look pretty good.
I'm really not happy about it. This, I said on Twitter, man, I think Penguins fans should get used to the idea of the Flyers possibly winning the Stanley Cup.
Well, yeah. I have them going to at least the conference final.
Can't wait. Wait.
We'll just all be massive Carolina fans for that conference final.
Buddy, won't we? All right, Dallas Stars against the who are they playing? Calgary Flames.
I have Calgary Flames in a sweep.
Ooh, bold. I think Dallas sucks.
Yep.
But I picked them in 6.
No, I liked how they played. I watched a fair few Flames games and I liked what I saw.
Yeah, I mean they can score goals in bunches, and
Mm. But even Lucic was up, like they were playing. They're playing really good hockey. They're just playing good, fun hockey, and I just want to see the win the next round. I think they'll get smoked the round after that, but
yeah,
that's for them. But yeah, I
I
think so.
like their defense. I like their top three. I like their
Currently,
top line. I like Lindholm. I don't know what's going on with Gaudreau and Monahan and like
hmm,
that whole thing, and like I don't trust their depth. And I
I
and
think
I
it's
think I think Dallas can get enough scoring from the. I think they can get more scoring from their back end than Calgary can currently muster. They're pretty old back there, so I don't know. I'm just this is a complete toss up for me. But I like the complete package of Dallas a little more from goaltending out. So I went Dallas in 6, even
yeah.
though I think they suck.
What does that say about Calgary for you?
Boy, I'm not sure. Nothing good. All right, this next series. Okay, I lied. I did pick a sweep. It's Vegas in 4, right? Like that. We're not kidding ourselves.
Oh yeah. This is yeah. Vegas
This
and four.
is yeah.
Yeah,
Chicago is
it
they're
is a win if Chicago makes a game 5. Like that is a win for them.
yeah
Enjoy
yeah
it,
absolutely.
enjoy it, Blackhawks fans. Like
Enjoy
honestly, enjoy
your
that
mid
they won
round
it.
draft pick in the middle of your rebuild. Let's have
Yeah.
fun.
Oh well, it's still good to see Keith and that like win one and stuff. It'd be good mid rebuild to have 1 year where you kind of make the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Well, except for them, they've done it like 3 out of the past 4 or whatever. So not
That's
good.
true.
Not good.
Yeah.
Uh, Colorado Avalanche at the
Oh.
Arizona Coyotes.
Yeah.
Um, will Taylor Hall and Phil Kessel be able to overcome Nathan McKinnon? And
No, absent 5.
no, they won't. Yeah, yeah, that's what I did. Yep, Colorado in 5. Yep.
Yeah, absent 5. So
Yeah.
this next series we may differ.
This is yeah the reigning Stanley Cup champion St. Louis Blues uh, in 6 games. That's what I'm picking.
Vancouver in 7.
That's bold, my friend. That's bold. Vancouver is a really young team.
Yeah.
They beat a really like mediocre Minnesota team with like really questionable goaltending. I'm not all that impressed. Like and Patterson really like it was kind of invisible for most of that
Yeah,
series,
but
which
Quinn Hughes
worries
wasn't.
me.
I have
No,
fallen
for
in love with
sure.
Quinn Hughes. I have fallen deeply in
That
love. Oh,
is
wait. No, you know what? How dare you?
Brenton has left the room. He has got up. Uh, he's he's putting on a Vancouver Canucks jersey. It's a Pedersen jersey, of course, because of course
Yeah,
that was unnecessary.
I got on a podcast.
Yes,
That was
I
very much
don't
for
worry.
you.
I described it to the listeners.
There we go. See, you know what you're doing. This is fine. This is good. I get 2 more this week. Another surprise opening, so they'll be on the channel. Oh boy. So who do you think's going to what do you think the cup final is?
Oh, we're not that far yet. Come on, we can't do this.
I like it.
It's
Like
too early.
give us something. Like come on, give us something.
Vegas, Carolina.
Vegas, Carolina.
Yeah, it'll be the first Stanley Cup final in a long time that'll actually be fun.
I have Vegas, Carolina.
Of fucking course you do. God damn it. We need a third
I'm
co-host.
wondering, have you got your bracket in front of you?
No, I didn't do a bracket. I just pulled
Oh.
that straight out of my
Yeah,
hands.
I have Vegas, Carolina, and Vegas winning the Stanley Cup.
Okay. I'm not. I'm not picking that yet.
It
I
is a
need to see
lock.
more. It's especially this year. It's too weird. Like I can't
Yeah.
go on like again what these teams did in the regular season. I'm not NBC Sports here, Brenton, because that
The
was
one
so fucking long ago.
the one series I would like to see, and it's a shame that we both picked that it won't happen, would be Flyers Tampa Bay.
Yeah, that would be a good one, but that would not be a good one for my stress level. I just want the Flyers gone. As soon as the Flyers And
Could you
I don't
imagine?
care what. I hope Montreal wins. Like they get
Yeah,
to the
could you
Stanley Cup
imagine if they
final
win?
and they just lose like immediately to Vegas. But ugh.
Yeah.
I'm looking at like other people's ballots and I'm just like, man, it's like the regular season was so long ago. Why are you?
Yeah, I've picked a lot of. The regular season a long time ago, but you can still say that this team is built well. You know what I mean? So yeah. But I don't. When I was looking at, I was reading a lot of like season because I made the season previews for all the games that started today, and then I've got 4 more to do today after work for tomorrow. And so I read a few other ones just to make sure I haven't missed anything. And like all of them were like, oh, in the regular season, this team has, they played 3 times and this was the score. And then they would say that affects the series in some weird way. And you're like, no. One one person was like Dallas and the Flames versed each other in 1984 in playoffs. I kid you not. And then he was like, so they have a record of beating them. And I was like,
Right.
what?
This is a franchise that just knows how to win and give what? What
Yeah,
do you
it
mean?
was
It's a franchise. It's a business. Like
the
that doesn't make any sense. Shut the fuck up.
biggest wank journalism that you could ever see. And that's from
It's
a Penguins fan, which is just like we'll be able to do that because we're both white. So when we're 45, we'll be right up in that press box, baby.
I think you just automatically get a hockey writers nomination like as soon as you turn it's
40.
like 40 and then you can like make your own like blog and pretend to like know more than like everybody else and be like I'm gonna teach all you fans this is
It
how it was, this is how it is.
really actually that's on the nose. That is on the nose for the Penguins on the Penguins media side of things. It's
It's
very
real
just
bad.
like I
It's
know
real bad,
something.
folks. This is we're talking
Yeah.
like Toronto, like not quite Toronto level of like takes, but just like the sports guys themselves just being just the worst. Like
The most arrogant. Yeah,
yeah, like
I
you
have.
wouldn't want to get a beer with them. It's not even like that. Like they're just kind of like your dumb uncle who still has like really bad sports. But like these guys haven't had relevant hockey opinions in 15, 20 years, and yet they're still getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars by these national sites and even local ones to do this
Yep.
shit. And it's really amazing. But hey, look, I guess you got to hand it to them because hey, you know, people for some reason still buy it.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Every time I kind of look to see like Penguins news and stuff like that, and you kind of head to a few places I'm not going to name and shame, but I mean you can take a guess at who we're talking about, and you just read the article and you're just like, oh my god, like it's just the same shit at the end of every playoffs that the Penguins should trade away Letang and Malkin. We
Yeah,
just can't say that we can do that with Kessel anymore. That's the
right.
only thing that has changed.
Yeah, and I mean, like like these guys, they just like come so close to a take, but then they veer off at the last minute. And like, I'm
Yeah,
not saying that this is, but I'm saying that it's being considered. It's like, no, it's shut the fuck up. No,
yeah,
you're just trying to be contrarian, and it's
yeah.
not interesting.
And
But
clickbait.
anyway, yeah. So these are the days of our lives, and we picked pretty much we went chalk on just about everything except for games, and then the Dallas versus Calgary series. That'll be the only thing that we
No,
talk about after the first round.
and St. Louis,
Oh, St. Louis,
Vancouver.
Vancouver. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, it's
Well,
really
you
we
could
got a lot
be,
got a lot
you
riding
could
on
be
that.
contrarian and go Blackhawks sweep. God, you look like a genius if that pulled off.
If I put money on that, holy shit!
Yeah, that would pay. Let's take. I mean,
You know,
come on.
if the Vegas Gold if the Golden Knights started Fleury, I might consider it. But they actually did the smart thing and went with Leonard. So
Oh, are they definitely starting Leno?
yeah, yeah, they announced that they're starting Leonard. So I'm like, all right, no, I'm not taking that bet. I don't feel like throwing my money away, despite what my girlfriend would tell you.
Is that because she throws it away for you?
No, no, she just watches me. I just bought a
Oh,
new TV the
so
other day just for reasons. I mean, my old one did break, but like I was like, okay, well I can get like the same size, but that TV is like kind of like 3 years old, so like I should probably
yeah,
just upgrade by about
treat yourself.
5 or 20 inches.
No, you
Why not?
definitely need to, especially if you have a friend that ends up getting a slightly bigger TV than you. That then becomes the bane of your like next TV. Next
Yeah.
TV is that big. Yeah. My because I get these I obviously order a jersey or two every fortnight to do a random unboxing on the YouTube channel and put up the bring up the collection so I can do more videos with the teams obviously doing the news on YouTube. And so I get these packages, and my girlfriend got really jealous that I was getting these packages. So she called her mum, and her mum sent her something. And so
It's really
so
sad, but
I've
I
been
hard
just going.
relate to that so much, Kat. I'm sorry. I feel you.
So I've just been going around the house the last like 10 days, being like, "Buy me something." I mean, even though
Look,
she's
man,
nothing.
it's a real special feeling getting packages in the
I
mail. I
know
don't get
it's
any.
so good. Yeah, she was just like, "I want a package."
I'm
Called her mum.
I'm expecting some Red Penguins posters in the mail. Oh, by the way, yes, if you
Mm.
haven't yet, if you're a hockey fan, like you have to watch this movie. It's called Red Penguins. It's by Gabe Polsky. He directed the Red Army movie that everyone loved a few years ago. And if you're a Penguins fan, especially, not many people know about this, but in the early '90s, Mario Lemieux and Howard Baldwin, the owner of the team at the time, sent their marketing director to Russia to buy the Red Army team, and they turned it into the Red Penguins. This was like their plan to like basically get all the good players out of Russia, and it was awesome. Except the Russian mob got involved, and people
Wow.
died, and yeah.
Oh, okay. I've definitely got
So
to watch this then.
you
'Cause
got
the
to you
Red
got to
Army
go
was
get
good.
it. It's on now that the Penguins are out of the playoffs. You'll have plenty of time. It's only 90 minutes, but man, it is a
What do you,
fucking thrill ride.
Yesterday I did a live stream and put 5 videos on my YouTube on the YouTube channel. Where do I have time?
All right, I'm not talking to you specifically.
No, I'll be fine after tomorrow. I'll be back to. I don't have to do all the previews.
The listener, go download it. It's pretty much anywhere where you can find movies in 2020 because everything is digital.
Yeah, I want to go to the cinemas and watch Tenet.
Is it going to the? I thought Australia wasn't getting it now because you're all in lockdown again.
No, only Melbourne is. Only Victoria and Sydney is. Partly. All the borders have shut again, so that sucks.
Oh, Daniel's gonna come for a visit.
So yeah. Oh, I meant borders within the states. That's definitely out of the question. We're
Oh yeah,
like
nobody wants us.
yeah, a
Nobody
permanent
wants
ban
us.
of America. Like it's
I don't,
just like no.
they did there's like the Animaniacs where they go through like all the countries of the world, and they did
Yeah.
one where it was like the countries that the U.S. is allowed into now, and it's just like three. It's like a 2 minute video, and like they just go through like the music's playing, and they just like list like Albania, Russia, and like one other country. It's fucking hilarious.
The former Union of Yugoslavia. We're not really sure. We didn't reach out to them, but
Yeah, we're
they've
not
made a
sure.
statement.
Probably not actually, but we'll give it to you.
No, like we can't even. I can go into. So Canberra is like a very small state or territory, and we can go into New South Wales, and that's it. That's as far as we can go. Can't go anywhere further than that.
We can't go into Canada. Technically, we're supposed to quarantine for 14 days if we leave the state at all, but no one
Yeah,
does that. No
but
one
no,
follows
it's
any rules in America. We just love to,
the.
some people would call it that rebellious spirit left over from the revolution, but I
I
think we're
think
just a bunch of big fucking babies.
I think if you cross a border, so you can cross the border if it's for work, but it has to be like, or something bad's happened. Um, but you need to quarantine, and if you break that, I think it's a $5,000 fine, and they are handing that out.
Yeah, I know that like people are like legit getting fined in Australia for breaking the rules, and like
Yeah, but it's not like, oh, you went outside briefly. It'd be like some dude that they told to go home 4 times, and they'll be like, no, now you get fined. Like if you just dick them around. But yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, it's pretty bad in Victoria, and they're just like in like full lockdown. Like I think they can go out of their house for an hour again, so they're back at that whole thing like we were a few months ago.
I would love if someone just came along and was like, "You legitimately have to stay inside your home, or we will put you in jail." I'd be like, "Fucking right, baby.
We're not.
Deliver my groceries and shit. I will stay here till the end of time."
Yeah, I was somewhat okay. The brothels are open in Canberra again, so that's good.
I went to a bar once. I went to dinner once, and it was a a terrifying experience. Also, the food
Yeah.
sucks. Like, I try to order takeout like once a week, support a local business because it's really scary what's happening here to a lot of the local restaurants in
Oh
Pittsburgh. It's a
yeah.
really, really good food scene here in Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
and places are just closing left and right. So I try like once a week, but yeah, it's not the same thing.
Well, it's also that they have like, because I have a chef. One of our good friends in Sydney he's a chef, and he said like it's been a nightmare. Like the food quality's way down because
You know?
like they had to fire 2 other chefs. So he's like, it's
Right.
me and one other dude.
Yeah, and they're just like bringing kids in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've made foie gras before, right? Right, kid? Yeah, I used to
Yeah,
work at
that's
Denny's, dude.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just put some noodles in the thing, okay?
Yeah, you're fine. Spoil some noodles. We're gonna get through this.
It's for John. He won't know the difference. He's a white guy.
But hey, Russia has a vaccine that they're already. Weird that like Putin's
Oh
daughter
yeah.
got coronavirus and like all of a sudden they just bypassed human trials to put this vaccine out.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing, isn't it? Like these countries can just, well, yeah,
Do whatever
just
they
do.
want.
Yeah, it's like when
'Cause
China had it; they just locked down the entire country, and now they're fine.
yeah, that's another thing about the documentary. Not to go back to it, but Red
No,
Penguins ends basically with the weirdness of like the how Putin was involved in not only the political sphere but like how intertwined hockey is in that country to their state to the state government. Like it's really weird and really uncomfortable, and like you watch this and go like, how the fuck is this allowed?
yeah,
How is this happening? You
how is
know?
this? Yeah,
But
no,
it's really good. You got to watch it. It's a story that like every Penguin fan should know, and every hockey fan should know about, honestly, because
good.
like Disney got involved at one point, and they now
Really?
claim that like they're not involved. It's
Oh,
nuts.
okay, I'll definitely. Yeah, all right. This has all the making. All right, I'll guarantee next podcast I would have seen it. We can talk about it on the podcast.
Yeah, you got to watch it.
So yeah, because I watched. I really liked the Red Army. That was I mean, that was pretty scary. That was pretty much like set up like a military regime to win gold medals. But anyway, yeah, I think that counted as their military time, right? If they played sport for the country
I
in
think
Russia.
so. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh god, that's crazy. You forget that there's countries that are like that where it's just like, yep, you have to join the military. Pretty insane. Have you got any final thoughts on the week or anything?
Oof. No, just lots of sadness, Brenton. Lots of sadness.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bittersweet. Bit of a bittersweet. I mean, it's really hard for us to bitch. The worst thing is that this team won cups.
Right.
Because I
Yeah.
always
I mean,
feel a little bit
perspective.
entitled that I'm having a whinge. That
Yeah.
I'm like, no, my team's not good. We
Yeah.
didn't get the first overall pick handed to us. We didn't win another cup. This isn't fair.
All we did was win 3 Stanley Cups, and 2 of them were back to back in a cap era. It's not fair. Not fair.
Mom, my brother's got a lolly and I don't. It's
That
very
said,
like that.
it does. There's a lot of times where it feels like there could have been more if mistakes were made, Breton. Mistakes were made, and we'll never know. All we can do is be grateful for what we have, and that I think is the lesson that you should take from this podcast. In the end, we taught you that. Remember that.
Yeah. Well, like I said with the Blackhawks, just be grateful
Wisdom.
you won. You beat the Oilers. Like, don't think about the series.
Let's not overthink
Like,
this. Yeah.
yeah, don't. You know you're gonna lose. Like, don't just enjoy what you could enjoy. God, this overtime's still going.
Still going. I was hoping it would end before we ended the podcast. Not like it matters. We're not going to be breaking any news. It's a podcast. That's not how these things work. But
Love how someone's listening to a day-old podcast to try and get the scores in the game. I love that idea. That someone's there. No, I was just I was kind of like, come on. Oh wow, then the Stars just tied it up. Cool. Coolio.
you want to change your pick?
Nah.
Too late.
Flames sweep. Well, that's why I said I've got it in the bracket, because I saw them up 2-0 and I was like, you're going to be like, you're only saying that because you know they're winning. So I'm glad they tied it up. So now I don't look like that bad. Dallas. I think like you definitely need to edit it at the start of this thing. There's just Dallas sucks, but I'm picking number 6.
That'll probably be our open.
Yeah, it'd be pretty bad. One little fact I wanted to bring up before we left. But when I did the previews, I got all the season record, like all the records of every team in the playoffs, like the highest point producer, the most goals, the most games played by a player, and whoever's won the most wins, and just their overall record. And I looked since expansion, since they won their last cup pretty much, the Toronto Maple Leafs. They have lost. They have won the least amount of games of any other team that was around in the late '60s.
You love to see it, don't you? You just love it.
It has not been fun.
I don't know why, man. Like, I should love this team and what they're about. Their approach to everything speaks to like the kind of hockey that I love. But there's just something that feels right about Toronto Maple Leafs fans suffering. Like, I listen. Like, I don't listen to like the Steve Dangle podcast all that often. But man, did I listen this morning with joy. Like, as soon as I saw it pop up, I was like, oh boy, I can't wait to hear this. This is great. Like I eat that shit up. I don't. It's terrible. You shouldn't celebrate others' misery. Don't do it in real life. But I mean, it's sports. So who gives a shit?
No, that's it. I mean, this will probably be, a few people will tune into this just to see us whinge about our team. So it's always the better
They should
ones.
be used to that, though. I mean, again,
Yeah.
Penguins fans spoiled,
I think,
ungrateful.
what did Steve Dangle say? That comeback win was the most views that he's had on a video for a Leafs win, and it still doesn't even rank in the top 30 for like his views for his videos, because they're like the top rated ones are like David Clarkson got bought out, or like they've lost another game, like, or they lost to that emergency goalie. I think that would be his highest rated.
I believe it. I believe it. It's the same reason. It's like doom scrolling. People just love misfortune.
Oh yeah, that's exactly it. Anyway, I think we put a bow on that. The overtime doesn't look like it's gonna. I bet you the second I hit stop, this overtime.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Or Blue Jackets getting some shots, but yeah. So thank you so much for watching. You can find us. I do actually have a mailbag question if you've got a little bit more time.
Yeah, sure. Let's just take a quick second here and hit it.
Hit it.
Are you loading your emails again, even though you
I
had
am.
previously? Did you close them, even though I told you to leave them open?
What do you think? This is on the YouTube channel. They said this is for the podcast. It's by Talent Productions, but it is an actual.
I don't believe this.
It is an actual thing. It's something Talent Productions, so I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's a massive thing. It goes on for ages about Trouba and a whole bunch of other things. But the crux is generally like, what do you think Lafreniere? Well, how do you think they'll change the Rangers franchise going forward?
I mean, they're probably going to score more. My question is like, Lafreniere is like a nailed-on left wing, unless they're going to they're going to pull a Marc Bergevin and like force him to play center, which is the kind of the position that they need. It's unfortunate that this is the lottery that they win. If you can be unfortunate for winning a lottery, I mean, he's still like elite and like he should be a first line left wing, but like, is he going to be better than Artemi Panarin? I don't know. I think they're different kind of players. So
Yeah,
that's a pretty damn good 1-2 punch, though. My question is like, okay, well, what do you do with Chris Kreider now?
that was my I put in my video that they're going to regret that no movement clause for 4 years, and
Yeah.
someone wrote, what was the exact thing? Jeff Gordon needs to convince that the air in Seattle's really good. No, I just wrote like I legitimately like I was eating dinner with Kat and I was talking. I just burst out laughing. She was like, "What?" And I was like, "You won't understand it." But it was such a good joke. But yeah,
also Capo Caco, who was again playing left wing.
Yeah,
I don't know. Which
well, I
is
wonder
weird.
if they put...
That's a lot of left wings on a team with Anthony D'Angelo. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He's a racist.
Yeah. I really like that decor like that's coming up. Obviously, it's a bit green, and we saw that against the Carolina Hurricanes. But I think there's something there.
Yeah, they're gonna be really really good or really disappointing. I think the expectations are gonna be pretty high, but like I said to my dad when the lottery ball came up, I was like, well, this is like for sure the least interesting thing that could have
It
happened.
just
But
came up, didn't it? And it was like, oh,
it was just like, oh, the Rangers. I forgot they
how
were even in this thing. Yeah.
how
But
how
again, like I think I agree with a lot of the people that are saying like this is probably the best thing for the sport. You know,
yeah.
like
Yep.
you want your big market teams to have stars. Like think about how many stars are buried in Canada right now.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna
Well,
grow the game in the states, like you need to have highlight stars in the states. And like
yeah.
Sidney Crosby is old as dirt, as we just witnessed. Same with Evgeny Malkin, even older. Like Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane, old as shit. And one of those people isn't a star, but okay, we'll pretend for the minute. Uh,
You better not be
Anjay
talking about
Kopitar,
Taze
Drew
in
Doughty,
a
like
bad way. We'll get killed.
not the way that like NBC Sports likes to make him out to be a star. Like they're really, like I don't know, Nathan McKinnon, it helps in Colorado, but like you need guys like Lafreniere in your major markets, and
Yep.
there is no bigger major market than New York, and like they really haven't had a team like this since the Cup year in '94, in like
Mm.
the mid '90s when they were really a powerhouse. That just got unfortunately kept running into the New Jersey Devils every year.
Yeah.
The fucking horrible, awful, sport killing New Jersey Devils.
Well,
So
like you
this is
said with
good. Like I think it's a good thing. Like as much as I hate to see it, and I hate the Rangers, it's a good thing for the sport. So
well, like you said with the Stars like being buried in Canada, they're all not in the playoffs right now. Like I think
yeah,
more than half of the top 10 scorers or like top 11 scorers aren't in the playoffs anymore. So, yeah.
yeah. Which is it's
Yeah.
going to force NBC Sports Network to be a little more creative on how they market the playoffs now because they can't
Oh,
just go for
Aho's coming
it's
out
Jonathan
party.
Taves and Sidney Crosby against the rest of the world. No, you got to like actually market some of the other stars now. Sorry, can't talk about Drew Doughty every 5 minutes.
No, they bring him up still. He's not even in the playoffs. They still bring him up. I'm like, God damn. What was Bob Airy comparing Crosby to that really pissed me off the other game? Peter Forsberg. And I was like, where the hell did that come from?
Yeah, God,
Jesus.
I
All right.
just like it's just like if I had one wish, it would just be one sports related wish. Just like everybody over the age of 40, just fucking retire in this game,
Just one
please.
look.
If you're an analyst, if you're an insider, I don't give a fuck. If you talk about hockey for a living, just fucking retire. You're done. You
You
had
can't
your
say that
moment.
now.
Go away.
That is not far away.
Just go away. Look, that's fine. That's fine. Look, I hope somebody puts me out to pasture in 10 years. Like, if I still have the same takes that I did, like, now, put me away.
No. No,
If
that's
I'm
when we
still
get
like,
paid.
well, Sidney Crosby is, in my opinion, still the best player in the NHL, even though he's been retired for 5 years.
Oh.
He just knew how to win, you know? Connor McDavid just doesn't know how to win. If I'm talking like that, please shoot me in the face or tell me to retire. One of the two.
No
No,
one could put a breakaway goal away like Miralov Shatan.
I don't know why I would be talking like that at the age of 40. I
Yeah.
assume I'd had a stroke. That's
Things
the
in
only
your health
reason.
have not gone well in the
It's not gone
next.
well for me, which it's likely. So it's
Yeah.
help me out. That's all I'm saying.
Anyway, we'll wrap it up there. We'll put a bow on it. Yeah. Thank you so much for listening, guys. You can find us on the YouTube channel. We're getting a lot of subs there, so I really do appreciate the support. This podcast will be on there, so get to see Mike's beautiful face. That's probably still the most requested thing. Is just like, where's Mike? Where's Mike? You're ugly. That's all I get from that is like, we want the good looking one. You can follow us at Hockey Night Pod. No, it's no. What is our Twitter handle?
At Hockey Night Pod on the
Night Pod, yeah.
Twitters.
At Go Brent Yourself for me. At Yinza_Chic.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah,
Very
or
good.
Chick, whichever way you want to.
You didn't even do that thing where you pretended not to know how to pronounce chic. It's cool.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
job.
I know. This time. That was good this time. You can write into the podcast at aahnpodcast@gmail.com. You can pretty much find this podcast everywhere. I don't need to shout out how to find this podcast because if you've got to this point, then you've found the podcast. And that's it. So thank you so much for listening. Have a great day. See you and bye.
Send me things in the mail to tell me that you love me.
I'm not gonna have to worry about like some sex scandal from you, right? Yes.
I don't think I have your address.
You'd have my old one. I think we
I don't
sent.
have your old one.
Yeah, I think I've got your old one too because I sent you Vegemite once.
Yes, you did.
Love Vegemite. How good at Tim Tams, but that was the one thing you took away from that was Tim Tams were good.
No, I didn't even get any Tim Tams. You sent
Oh,
me something else.
I thought I sent you Tim Tams.
I didn't get any Tim Tams.
Oh.